Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome into the room. Where in the world is everybody coming in from? Hello, welcome to day one, streaming day one of the I Am Enough program. Let's make sure the chat is activated for all of the guests in the room. Hello from Denmark, Weston, Cambridge, of course, representing the UK, Ireland, Scotland, Germany, Chile, Florida, Findhorn, Lithuania, Mauritius, Scottsdale, Leicestershire, Devon. Oh, we got some team in Devon, lots of people. I got Germany, Botswana. Wow, Botswana, that's incredible. I really want to go to Botswana someday. That's amazing. Welcome, everybody, to day one. This is amazing. Huge celebration. Day one live streaming for the I Am Enough program. The first time we've run this program in 5 years plus. What an incredible experience. Really excited. Oh, we got Karine over here who's in Spain, but she's Dutch. Amazing. We got California, Saudi Arabia, Cambridge, Palm Desert, Canada, another from Denmark. Amazing. France, Latvia, Mexico, Kansas, Montana, just starting to get cold up there. South Africa, welcome. Sedona, really envious of you. That's amazing. Idaho, Texas. Fabi, what's up, Texas? I'm in Austin right now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Okay. Congratulations to making it here for streaming day one. This is going to be an incredible experience today, and I'll kind of give you an overview of what we're doing in the program, but through the next 8 weeks and potentially one bonus session for those of you that are in the VIP group. For the next 8 weeks, we're going to be building this incredible experience with Marisa herself, where she's going to be guiding us through an understanding of different things for each week. This week is harnessing the power of your mind. Next week will be believing that you're enough. The next week will be strategies that all successful people live by, the secrets of what they believe about life and themselves. The next week will be wealth wiring for an abundant life, so you can really code in wealth for yourself. The next be living a healthy life, or how Marisa likes to say, your body is a wellness making machine. So we're going to be coding in that health for ourselves. The next week is going to be attracting and sustaining healthy relationships, or what we like to say, or as Carmen likes to say, supercharging your connections. The next week is going to be living your life's purpose, so critical. And the final week will be knowing everything is available to you. So that's going to be the overview of our 8-week journey altogether. Each one of these is going to have a hypnosis experience during it, lots of beautiful education, incredible stories from Marisa. We're going to be sharing your incredible stories of how you're getting along within the program. We're really excited to hear what's already happened for you in the program thus far, and really excited to see how each week transforms your life and the lives of the people that you spend time with. And hopefully you're sitting here with your family, your friends, and you're all together doing this experience. Of course, the replays will be available for those of you that weren't able to be here live in person. So shout out to everyone who isn't here live right now. What's up, Denise? And for those of you that are in VIP, just know that at the very end of today's session, in about 85 minutes or so, we're all going to go to the VIP room where Marisa is going to start answering questions one-on-one with all of you. So it's going to be a really beautiful experience for those of you that are joining us in VIP. It asks us to get here early so that we don't shut down Zoom, by the way, as just an easy thing. You can have camera on if you want to interact with everybody and see how they're reacting. But I don't want to take away too much time from your wonderful presentation today. And I see that the Queen herself has joined us in the Zoom room. So Marisa, welcome to the room.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You can carry on explaining everything, and then I'll just begin whenever you're ready.
Amazing. So welcome, everybody. Again, today is day one, and today we're going to be focusing on harnessing the power of your mind. So we're going to do a solid amount of discussion. Marisa is going to talk about the rules of the mind. She's going to run us through a really exciting exercise that really shows you how powerful your mind is. She's going to explain the reason that we have the behaviors that we have, the 4 roles that we play in life, the 3 things that's wrong with anyone for any problem that happens in your life. She's going to share a few different client stories, and we're going to encourage you to look at your workbook and do some journaling throughout and after today's session. So hopefully hopefully you've downloaded that in your Kajabi back end and you've got all those things ready to go for today. And I hope you've already attended at least some of the online modules for the program before today. And if not, get after it this weekend. So the first thing that we're going to start with Marisa is talking about the power of your mind and how you can change your mind no matter what's going on in it, what thoughts that you have, and you can very, very powerfully and easily change it. And you can also always fix things, even if you don't understand it. So Marisa, you want to talk a little bit about the power of your mind?
Yeah, why don't we go straight into it. So today we're going to be really talking about how you can be the boss of your mind, how you should really be the CEO of your mind, how everything you want goes back to your mind. Like if this was a ladder now, it would be a thought, a feeling, a behavior, a thought. Everything starts with a thought, even a belief. A belief is really nothing more than a thought. You think a lot. So the mind is immensely powerful. And rather than just tell you, let's do a little few things to show you. So first of all, let's do something you may have done before. Put your hand in front of your mouth like that. Close your eyes and just keep them closed for a few minutes. And I want you to simply imagine you're holding a big juicy lemon, one of those gorgeous Sicilian lemons. I want you to, with your eyes closed, really feel that wonderful waxy lemon skin. And I want you to breathe in. I want you to smell that amazing lemon smell, because nothing really smells quite like a lemon. So while you're sucking the lemon, smelling the lemon, I want you to actually stick out your tongue and squeeze that lemon so hard that drops of lemon form on the surface. I want you to stick your tongue, I literally stick out your tongue and lick those drops of lemon off the surface. And now open your mouth as wide as you can and shove that entire half a lemon in your mouth and start eating. I want you to start eating, biting, chewing, sucking the lemon. I want you to swirl all that lemon juice around your mouth. And I want you to keep biting and chewing and sucking until your taste buds pucker and start swelling. I want you to bite into the flesh of every lemon segment until all that lemon bursts onto your tongue, bursts onto your taste buds. I want you to suck the lemon, chew the lemon, swirl all the lemon juice around your mouth. And what's happening as you do that, you'll probably notice is that you are pumping out saliva. So now you can open your eyes, and here's a question which you cannot get wrong, by the way. We don't do questions that make you feel bad about yourself. So this question, you have two choices. Was there a lemon or wasn't there a lemon? If you said there wasn't a lemon, you know you're right because there wasn't. But if you said there was, you're also right because there was a lemon. Where was it? It's in here, it was in your mind. And that's one of the most important things to understand about your mind. One of the rules of the mind, I'm going to take you through a lot of them today. One of the rules of the mind is that every thought you think has a physical reaction and indeed an emotional response. When you think a thought, it isn't a thought, it's actually a direct command to your mind. When you think, I'm eating a lemon, your mind goes, oh, no. You know, the lemon is very acidic, very damaging to tooth enamel. And of course, a few hundred years ago, we needed our teeth just to live. And so anything that's a threat to our survival, the mind will start pumping out saliva to wash away imaginary lemon, because teeth are essential to your survival. So here's a couple of rules of the mind that apply to the lemon test. Every thought you think has a physical reaction and indeed an emotional response. And here's another one. The way you feel about everything is down to the pictures you make in your head and the words you form. And the pictures you made were eating a lemon, the words were I'm eating a lemon. And the mind doesn't stop to say, is that true or false, right or wrong? Good. It just says, oh, you're eating a lemon. You responded to pictures and words. So let's do another one. Everyone look at me. And all I want you to do is literally take your left arm and point it. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do first. We're going to copy it. You're going to sit up straight and you're going to swing your arm as far behind as it will possibly go. I'm going to mark where it's gone. So my arm has gone kind of into that picture. Obviously, I'm not going to move my chair. So let's do that. I can't see you, but I'm with you. Take your left arm, or indeed your right arm, put it in front of you. And I want you to take your arm as far behind you as you can, push it to its absolute limit. Keep pushing. And then when you've got it to its limit, take a look and see where it's gone, mark it on the wall behind you. And then come back. And now we're going to give your mind some direct instructions. You know what? Your mind is going to do exactly what you tell it to do. So close your eyes. I want you to repeat these words, exact words, just follow me. I want you to say, my arm is super flexible. Eyes closed, my arm is super flexible. All the muscles and nerves in that shoulder are opening, all the ligaments are opening up. My arm is like a pretzel. My arm is going to go a third further. I'm like a bendy doll. Open your eyes, put your same arm, is left or right, put it out. Look at your arm and literally say to your arm, hey, you are going to go a third further now because I'm telling you to, you're going a third further. Tell your arm to go a third further. No, it's going to go a third further. Believe it. And in your mind, just quickly see your arm going a third further. You're now super duper flexible. Swing your arm back and just watch as it goes so much further. Like, and now it's almost at the end. To do the same thing and notice what happens. And just come back and you can start to put something in the chat bar. How much further did your arm go? Were you surprised that happened? Did you believe that? How can you use that for other things? What about the lemon? What was that like when you knew there was no lemon, but you started to pump out saliva? You see what you're doing. These are very simple tests. No harm can come from them at all. Well, you can say, hey, you know what? I told my arm to go further and went further. Told us I was eating the lemon and I made saliva. Well, guess what? You can now say, hey, I'm telling myself to ace that exam. I'm telling myself to just be amazing on that presentation. I'm telling myself to be phenomenal when I do that sales, when I go for that promotion, when I go for that interview. Or maybe I'm super tired and I can tell myself, hey, for the next 3 hours, I'm wide awake. I'm on it. Or I can tell myself when I go to sleep tonight, I sleep perfectly, soundly, deeply, 8 hours. I wake up wide awake, full of energy, and I ace that presentation. Because the way you feel about everything is, of course, down to the pictures you are making and the words you're forming. So you learned something in the first 5 minutes. You have a powerful mind. When you think a thought, when you see an image, your mind starts to make that real. And that's so important. Here's the rule of the mind, possibly one of my favorites. I created these 26 rules of the mind. I think this one is my favorite. Every word you speak, every thought you think is a blueprint that your mind, your body, your very psyche work to make real. And when we do some little tests to go, oh, hey, yeah, you know, I noticed that. I thought a thought and I made it real. I thought something, I made it real. Then you realize that when you think a thought to make it real, now the onus is on you to think better thoughts. And a lot of us do this. Oh, this workload is killing me. This job is driving me crazy. This is making me lose my mind. I'm stressed out of my mind. This commute will be the death of me. And we don't quite understand that we are giving our mind thoughts and pictures that the mind has no choice but to make real. Your mind has zero choice, no choice at all, but to make your thoughts real. And here's something I love. You can choose to be positive or negative. It's a free country. You can choose whatever you like. You can choose to say, the weather's making me depressed. The state of the world is upsetting me. My job is giving me insomnia. My boss is the boss from hell, and it's really bugging me. You can choose to say that, but your body has zero choice but to act on the words you form and the thoughts you think. So let's quickly put in the chat bar right now. I'd love you to really join me and explain some of the things that you say. Do you say things like, this is killing me, I'm dying here, this is stressing, this is driving me crazy? And if you do, let's work right now to start flipping it. I just would love to see a couple of people share with me the things that they say without understanding that they're making it real. And you see, if you think, oh, this is all silly, this is all woo-woo, here's the thing to understand. When you think a sad thought, join me in the chat. Do you ever think a sad thought and your eyes fill up with tears? You're just watching an advert with a kitten that's been rescued on the YouTube. Do you ever think an embarrassment? Oh my God, I'm going bright red and I'm just thinking of something embarrassing. Do you ever think about food and notice your tummy rumbles? Do you ever think about sex and notice that you immediately feel aroused? And here's the biggest example ever of our mind making our thoughts. Well, what we think about a drug will have more of an effect on us than what is actually in the drug itself. So I'm having a quick look at the chat bar now and seeing what's coming up. Oh, so many are a great audience. So Let's have a quick look at some of the things you've said. Let me go halfway down. People saying, oh my God, the lemon worked. Of course, this always freaks me out in such a great way. And it's a very good idea to just stick a picture of a lemon on your computer, to maybe have as a screensaver to remind you, hey, when I think a thought, my body makes it. Well, you know why? That's your body's job. Your mind's job is to think a thought. Your body's job is to make it. Well, you also have a job, and your job is to think better thoughts all the time. Once you know, oh, when I think a thought, my mind, whatever the thought is, makes it real. I can't sleep. I can never sleep. I have terrible insomnia. I get every illness going. I fall apart under confrontation. I hate people looking at me. Or I got perfect. I could sleep anywhere. People look at me. I'm good being the focus of attention. I'm good at my job. So you're learning probably the most important thing already, that your mind's job is to make your thoughts real. And your job is to think better thoughts. I'm going to have a quick look now at some of the things you're telling me that you say about yourself, that you realize you are responsible to change. We're all responsible for our own emotional reactions. We all are responsible for how we react, what we say, how we think. The lemon was strange for me as I'm drinking coffee, but yes, I got lots of saliva. That's a great thing. Okay, let me have a quickly go down a little further. I've got so many of you. I can't eat that, it will hurt my stomach. And how do we flip that? I have phenomenal digestion. Whatever I choose to give to my body, it digests. I don't know how to do this. I instinctively know how to do stuff. I'm never going to get through this. I'm powering through this. What if you can't help thinking bad thoughts? For example, I feel fearful that cancer has returned. No matter what I say, I still feel scared. Well, what I would say is my body is a wellness-making machine. Every person pretty much has some cancer cells in their body. And some of us, our bodies are really good at finding that and destroying it. And others like, oh, that's it. So whatever your thought is, I want you to flip it over. I'm going to have a quick look at some of the other ones you've done. I never have enough time. I'm no good at that. I'm always tired. Nobody loves me. I can't do this. No one likes me. This work is, I'm overwhelmed. I'm being pulled apart. So if you had to flip that, all you have to do is what's the opposite of that? It was a coin, you had to flip it. I never have a time. I'm great at managing time. I'm great at prioritizing time. Nobody loves me. I'm magnetically lovable. I attract and maintain love because I'm deeply lovable. This is going to give me a heart attack. I'm super chilled. When I'm busy, I always take the time to breathe properly. And yeah, you can say I'm scared of the cancer, but you can also say my body is doing a great job of finding and destroying cancer cells all the time. I don't have to do anything. After all, my heart beats without any intervention from me. My lungs breathe. I don't have to do anything. My stomach digests, but I don't have to do a thing. My heart beats, my blood circulates, my lungs breathe, my body digests. I don't do anything. And in the same way, I can tell my body to fight cancer. And if I imagine that, it will do it. I'm so stressed. Life is so hard. I'm wrecked. And so flip that. I'm overwhelmed. I've got great coping skills. One of the best things you can say to yourself in your whole life is this: I have phenomenal coping skills. Today, we are going to learn how to manage our state, how to be the boss of ourselves. You know, the word responsibility means an ability to respond. And if you could look in your body and see what happens when you say the words like, I'm so stupid, I'm exhausted, I'm so stressed, I'm anxious, no one cares about me. There's something really wrong with my body when I'm exhausted all the time. I can't sleep. My job is killing me. I'm sick to death. What's the point? I'm lonely. I'm reading out all of your phrases. If you could look in your body and see what happens when you say those words, you would actually change it. You'd, instead of saying I'm exhausted, you say, you know, I do need to get some good sleep tonight. I'm starving. I actually need to eat some really good quality food. I've got so much on, but I can deal with this. I've got I've got a lot on. I'm going to power through it, get it all done, and then I'm going to have a wonderful, relaxing time. I'm anxious, I'm chilled. This is driving me crazy. I'm dealing with this. I'm on it. I'll never know what's the purpose of my life. I'm finding my purpose. So that's your job. You are responsible for how you speak, how you feel, how you act, how you react. Does that sound hard? I'm responsible. Because actually, if you're responsible, that's a very good thing. Happiness is an inside job. Knowing you're enough is an inside job. When you understand that it's your job, the very bit of good news is that you can do your job. You can do your job amazingly. So I'm going to take you through very quickly what makes you tick. So we're all beginning to understand that we are all responsible for managing our own emotional state. We are all responsible for the pictures in here and the words. No one else is around going, hey, you're an idiot, you're a loser, nothing you do works, it's all going to fall apart. If you are responsible for the wrong words, then you can be responsible for the right words. And when you realize that every time I say I'm exhausted, I'm just getting more and more tired, because that's the genius of you. That's the genius thing. You say you're exhausted, your body makes you feel exhausted. You say, oh God, I feel like I'm walking through treacle. I feel like I haven't slept for a week. I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. I'm absolutely ravenous. None of these things are true. You couldn't even eat an eighth of a horse. You've never been ravenous in your entire life. But when you say those things and make them real, that is your genius. Your genius ability to think a thought and make it real is going on already. It's just you're thinking the wrong thoughts, and your mind has no choice but to make them real. So understanding what makes us tick, many years ago, many years ago, I was training to be a therapist, and my very eminent, lovely teacher said something which I didn't understand. He said, the human mind is very, very complex indeed. And it takes a lifetime to understand how the mind works, and a second lifetime to put it into practice. And I was thinking, well, how does that work? And if it takes a whole lifetime to work out what makes you tick, and you think, oh, hey, here I am in 98 and I've cracked it. I understand everything that makes me tick. But I'm 98. Wish I'd found this out when I was 28 or 38 or maybe even 40. So that didn't make sense to me. And as I became a therapist and found a second teacher, my first teacher was me, my second teacher was every client I saw. Every client I saw began to teach me actually what was true and what's true about the mind. And all you ever need to know about the mind are three things. I want you to make some notes, write this down, because when you understand the three things that run you, and they run everyone else on the planet, you understand something else. You have the power to change those three things forever. So the first thing about your mind, and we sort of alluded to it, but let's go right into it. The first thing about your mind is your mind does what it believes you want it to do. Your mind is always working to make your thoughts real. If you haven't got something you want so much, let's say you think, oh, I really want love, and it never works out. I really want happiness, I'm always anxious. I really want to be healthy, I've got this gene, the fat gene, the depressed gene, the anxious gene. If you haven't got what you want, I promise you, some part of your mind thinks, you don't really want that at all. Love, you could get dumped, you could get hurt. If you had super health, we would expect a lot of you. So when we haven't got what we want, our mind thinks we don't want it. If we haven't got what we want, we've got a lot of stuff that we don't want, like procrastination, self-sabotage. Mind goes, no, that self-sabotage is very good for you. You see, as long as you procrastinate, you'll never realize you're not good enough. As long as you sabotage it, you'll never discover that you can't really write a book because you're just procrastinating. So the first thing to understand about the mind, and probably the most important, is this: your mind does what it truly thinks you want to do, and it bases it on what you told it maybe 30, 20, 10 years ago. I don't want to be ridiculed. I don't want to laugh when I put up my hand in class to answer a question. I get it wrong. I'm laughing. Oh, that's it. Never going to speak in public ever again. And we forget, but the mind remembers. Remember, you said when you were 7, I never want to speak in public. Never will I put up my hand or draw attention to myself. And here I am, just about to do that. And I've suddenly got a panic attack. My heart's racing. I feel a bit sick because the mind's going, I got to stop that right now. Don't you remember what you said? I never want to draw attention to myself. So we make decisions when we're like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 with 5 or 6 or 7 years of life experience. I don't want to get hurt. One of my clients told me that she used to watch her father, and every Sunday he'd do this. Oh, this job is killing me. This job is going to be the death of me, these hours. And he said, this is the problem when you work for yourself. There's no day off and it's killing me. And I remember thinking, I never want that thing called a job because it can kill you. She was 5. She thought a thought, but it wasn't a fleeting thought, because he did this every Sunday. Oh my God, I'm dying under the stress here. And he didn't know what he was saying. This is going to be the death of me. This is killing me. This is making me want to jump off a cliff. The stress, the pressure, this job will be the death of me. He didn't realize what he was doing, and she didn't realize what she was picking up, but her mind was very clear. You do not want that thing called a job because it will kill you. And she said, it's so weird. I can't keep a job. I get fired from every job I go for. And we had to change the word job to career, change the word job to passion, get rid of the word job altogether and call it something else. My passion, my motivation, my career, my life's work, my mission, my purpose. So when your mind hears you say, oh, I don't want to be loved, you just get dumped. I don't want money, you never know who your friends are. Your mind is doing what it thinks you want, avoiding the thing called job, the thing called love. People say, really? Do people really reject love? Oh, yes. And health and wealth too. So the first thing to understand, if you haven't got what you want, if you've got a lot of what you don't want instead, you've got to go back to your mind and make it clear. Carissa, what do you want? Why do you want it? Why haven't you got it? We're going to be working for the next 8 weeks, doing powerful, deep work to find out what is getting right in your way. It's usually you, your thoughts, your beliefs, this decisions you came to when you were a kid. So we're going to have a look at that. So write down, the first thing to know about your mind is this: your mind does what it really believes you want. Your mind does what it actually thinks is in your very own best interest, based on totally outdated, outmoded stuff that you might even remember. I don't want to put my hand up in class, because when I was 5, I couldn't say the word bridge. I called it brigger. Everybody laughed at me, and I thought, I'll never do that again. Never speak in public again. And here I am. I want to speak at an event. As it gets closer, I'm getting headaches, panic attacks, breaking out in a sweat, because I said something when I was 5, but I said it when I was a scared kid. And that's called an imprint. A scared child, an authority figure, something happened, and it's an imprint. I'm terrified of dogs, cats, people, rejection. So that's the first thing to understand. The second, we actually already covered it, and that is the way you feel about everything. Everything is down to just 2 things: the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. And if the way you feel about everything is down to the pictures you form and the words you construct, then here's some very good news. You can upgrade the pictures, upgrade the words, change the pictures, change them, make them better, make them powerful, make them meaningful, make them exciting, make them thrilling. And the third thing about the mind is the thing that therapists like me find so vexing, is that your mind, my mind, everyone on the planet's mind wants to do this. It wants to go back to what is familiar while going away from what is unfamiliar. How does that work? Well, let's imagine you've cast your mind back, 400 years, and you're living in the Wild West in a fort, and you're in a fortress and it's all very safe. You wouldn't think, I'm so bored. I think I'm going to go and hang out with those Native Americans over there. I really need a change of scene, and bored with all this food, the same stuff every day. I'm going to go meet these. But because you know that what kept you safe was what was familiar. Imagine you live in a tribe. You don't wander off and meet another tribe, because they might be a very hostile tribe. And we see that with 2-year-olds. I don't want that yogurt. I only like pink yogurt. And that's green yogurt's got lumps in it. I don't like it. Because what's familiar actually kept us alive for many, many, many years. What kept us alive was familiar. I eat the stuff I know. I hang out with the people I know. And I live where I know. And I don't really leave that area, because that keeps, if we had walled cities, if you go to somewhere like Croatia, walled cities, walled towns, and you stayed inside the wall, and familiar kept you safe, and straying outside was very dangerous, because unfamiliar could kill you. And all these years later, we still have this fear. I want to stay with what's familiar. and I want to move away from what's unfamiliar because it could kill me. But nowadays it doesn't kill us. And so our job is to understand, oh, if the mind likes what is familiar and wants to stay there, then that's the fact. But here's another, you've got to make great stuff familiar. What kind of great stuff? Praise yourself. If you want to change your life on a dime, right now, today, here's something you can do every day for the rest of your life. Praise yourself. I did a great job. I was on fire today. I was kind today. I had a great memory. I did something good today. I did something nice. I look good. Hey, here am I look good, and I'm gifted at something, and I've got something to share with the world. I'm really good at IT or accounts or whatever it is. So if you can make praise familiar and criticism unfamiliar, that on its own will change your life. And I see every day of my life the opposite. People who come in and I say something like, oh, I love that jacket. I've had it for 5 years, got a hole in it. Oh, I love your hair's filthy. I haven't washed it for 3 days. I love the way you write. Oh, my handwriting's awful. You know what they do? They're saying to me, when you praise me, it's someone, not only can I reject it, I've got to add in a criticism, because criticism is familiar, praise is unfamiliar. If I put a little bit of silicone on my finger and shove it in my eye, that's the most unfamiliar thing I can do. My eye starts to water and goes, what are you doing? Get that foreign object out. If I do it every day, I can put a lens in my eye without a mirror. I can even do that weird thing of taking it out using my nails and my fingers easily, because we can make anything familiar. Once upon a time, for you, peeing in the toilet wasn't familiar. So I'd love you to go into the chat bar, and I want you to put in some other things that you'd like to make familiar, like praise, believing in yourself, being motivated, having passion. I'd also like you to tell me some of the things you want to make unfamiliar, like procrastination, self-sabotage, being negative, having limiting beliefs, having negative language, putting yourself down. So right now, go ahead and make my day by letting me know some of the things that you would love to make familiar, and some of the things you want to make out, because when you help me out like this, I can help you out. When I look, oh, look, this is what Denise wants. Denise wants this. Ah, Linda said she wants praise. Oh, someone else said, I want this. Then I'm going to help you a lot. This good lips, and I want to be kind to myself. So the more you help me, the more I can help you. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that are coming in, because you'll also understand something. I love, we're all the same, but people are the same. We're not really that different. We all want the same thing. We want love, praise, connection. We want to be safe. We want to be successful. So as you look at other people, you'll think, well, yeah, they're just like me and I'm just like them. Praising myself was uncomfortable at first, but I do it all the time now. Being kind to myself, public speaking, being motivated, knowing I'm enough, being familiar with wealth, having a phenomenal memory, putting out my offer into the world. And then some of the things you want to make unfamiliar, believing I'm unattractive, believing I'm not enough, believing I don't matter, limiting beliefs. So let's just go back and recap on the 3 things, the only things you need about the human mind for the rest of your life. You understand these 3 things, you understand everything. Your mind does what it thinks you want it to do, and it bases it on what you told it. You may not even remember what you told it, but you told it something. I don't want to get hurt, rejected, left behind. I don't want to fail. But when you hear I don't want to fail, the mind says, well, don't do anything then. Then you can never fail. It doesn't go, let me make you successful. It says, let me make sure you don't fail. You don't want to fail at school, let me give you terrible headaches. Now you can't go to school. Now you can't fail. You don't want to fail at work, let me give you chronic diarrhea or an ulcer or anxiety. Now you can't go to work and you can't fail. So the 3 things, your mind does what it thinks you want to. You told it somewhere, somehow, something, and it's trying its best to make it real, even though you no longer want it. You respond entirely to the pictures and words you form, and you are free to change those pictures and words at any time. And some of the ways you do that is, I'm exhausted, I'm dehydrated, I'm starving, I need to eat. Good at conversation, I'm really good at talking to people, I'm terrified, I'm excited. It's very easy to flip it. And finally, your job is to make good stuff familiar. Our mind wants to go to what's familiar, and you can make anything familiar, anything at all. So make good stuff familiar, make negative stuff unfamiliar. Start with making praise and self-belief familiar, and criticism and self-doubt unfamiliar, and that on itself will change your whole life. So let me have a look at more of the things that you're sharing with me. I want to have focus on getting things done. I want to speak in groups. I want to use my voice with confidence. I want to feel good in my body. I want to make success and love familiar. Making love, I want you to make it familiar. Finishing things, knowing I can use my voice, speaking in groups. See how often that's coming up, speaking in groups. We'll say, well, that's sure, because the most common fear in the world is the fear of public speaking. Actually, it isn't. The most common fear in those is the fear of being rejected, the fear of not being enough. And the only reason you fear speaking in public is because if you don't get it right, you might feel rejected, you might feel not enough. I want to get over procrastination and fear of failure. I want to get over being late. I want to make procrastination unfamiliar. I want to love myself. I want to make self-belief. But that's a great thing, to make believing in yourself. I mean, no one else can do it, because self-belief means what I believe about myself. Self-esteem means what I feel. If I say, hey, Skip, I hold you in the highest esteem. I esteem is what I think of you. But self-esteem is what I think of me. And I can't raise your self-esteem, but you can do the most amazing job of raising it. Telling myself I'm good enough. I cannot tell you how important that is. Praising, working out every day, speaking in front of more women, having business confidence, sleeping better. I want to make confidence familiar, and that's a choice. I want to make having more money familiar, that too, make overspending unfamiliar. I want to go to the gym every day. I want to like my own company. I want to feel that I'm loved and prioritized. I want that to be familiar. It's a really good idea to write out every time we're together. Keep writing out, what do you want to make familiar and what do you want to make unfamiliar? And remember, the more you can write it out first, look at them and think, okay, I'm going to do 30 sit-ups a day. I can make that familiar. I'm going to take sugar out of my coffee. That sounds awful. I love it, really sweet. But when I take the sugar out, I recently, I'm not going to have stevia anymore. I used to love in the morning one coffee with a bit of coconut milk and stevia. I loved it creamy and sweet. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stop that stevia. I don't have it in my bag and it's not good. And I don't even miss it. I did miss it, but only for about a week. And I thought, you know what, I actually don't need it. I think I started to have less and less and less. I just made myself like it without it, because that's a choice. You can make anything you like familiar. You can make anything you like unfamiliar. It's like saying, I'm always on time. I like to be on time. You can choose to change. And if you're not choosing to change, you know what? Then you're choosing to stay the same. Let's talk about something else. Let me flip through this just a little bit more. Being motivated, having powerful beliefs, praising myself, appreciating myself, believing I can change, confidence and commitment, letting go of limiting beliefs, having some passion, being calm, being on time. You see how we're all the same. We all have the same fears, the same worries. We've got a whole community here working with each other to make it work. So let me just get to the bottom in case anything else jumps out. Becoming a world-class RTT therapist, well, I can definitely make that happen, and so can you. Living in abundance, having discipline, believing that I'm enough, so important. Trusting myself, trusting my choices, knowing I can do it. I want tons of energy, lots of energy. I want to attract great RTT clients. I want to really love myself. I want to make criticizing myself unfamiliar. And you can see the pattern here, that this is a choice. You might think, no, it isn't. But when you criticize yourself, that is a choice. To avoid hating myself, definitely do that. Stop being late. That's coming up so much. Be grateful for everything I have. Live in gratitude. Procrastination is coming up again and again and again. Praise is coming up again and again and again. Relationships with great people. Stop judging myself. Find true love. Okay, so let me tell you something about you. Everyone on this group, there's only 3 things wrong with everyone in the world. Only 3. Of course, we can look at conflicts and countries in the world that are suffering. But aside from that, aside from famine and world hunger, there's only 3 things wrong with everyone. And the first thing that's wrong with all of us is I'm not enough. You know, I created I'm not enough movement. Here's my I'm enough bracelets. I created the I am enough movement, opposite of the not enough movement. Because I realized the biggest thing wrong with everybody, every single person I've seen, I've been a therapist my entire adult life. I must have worked with by now millions of people online, in webinars, face-to-face, in groups like this. It didn't take me long at all to realize that most people have this, what I call the unspeakable truth. I'm not enough. And of course, procrastination. So nothing more than I'm not enough. And if I do that, it won't be good enough. So I just avoid it, put it off, sabotage, procrastinate, rather than get to the truth. But it isn't true. And many people have, I'm going to work really hard and get stuff so I know I'm enough, but you're already enough. The number one thing wrong with everyone on this call is that they just don't think they're good enough, worthy enough, smart enough, attractive enough, interesting enough. And if that's the number one thing wrong with us, then, hey, you know, you can't fix what you don't understand. You can't heal what you don't feel. If you can understand what's wrong with you, that, oh, that Marisa Pearce, she came on and then you can fix it. People go, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have no idea what's wrong. I guess I'm just messed up. I'm just crazy. There's something wrong with me. I don't know what it is. But when you can say, oh, I know what it is. I learned that what was wrong with me is I just didn't believe I was good enough. And I felt that because of this or that. When you know what's wrong, you know how to fix it. And I promise you the common denominator, almost all of our issues stem from this not enoughness. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not interesting enough. I'm not educated. I'm not skilled enough. I'm not beautiful enough. None of that is true. But of course, if you think it, because we respond to the pictures and words, it might as well be true. So we're going to be doing a lot of work over the next 8 weeks to shatter, smash, erase, eliminate, and end that belief that you're not enough. That is the number one thing wrong with all of us. Every alcoholic, every addict, every compulsive shopper, everyone who's obsessed with how many followers they've got, this all comes back to one thing. If I'm not enough, I need more. More of what? More cake, more food, more drink, more drugs, more stuff, more followers. It doesn't matter. What matters is the answer is to say, I'm enough. And we're going to be doing a lot of that over the next 6. I am enough. I'm enough. I matter. So that's the number one thing wrong with people. And I'd like you, by the way, as I list the 3 things wrong, I'd like you to go into the chat bar and say, I'm number 1 or 2, or maybe I'm 1 and 2, maybe I'm all 3. You can definitely be all 3. I mean, I certainly never felt I was enough. I was having a dinner last night and we were all talking about something people wouldn't know about us. And I was describing my childhood and how insane it actually was, and how being the head teacher's daughter made me feel so desperately not enough. Because one of the cards was, tell everyone what your classmates envied about you. I said it wasn't envying about me. They didn't. I was the teacher's daughter. There was nothing to envy or feel sorry for me because my dad was the head teacher, and I felt different and weird and disconnected. And that's the second thing wrong with people. They are disconnected. They're unconnected. They can't connect. They have a belief that I'm different. So that was me, head teacher's daughter. I felt like a freak. I felt so different that I couldn't connect. And that's the second thing wrong with people. I'm different, so I can't connect. Because not long ago, we were a tribe and we all looked the same and we all had the same family set. And we knew who, and we all said, well, I belong to this tribe because look, that's my auntie, that's my grand, that's my cousin, and we all look the same. But now we live in multicultural societies and we can't have that. Well, I'm like you and you're like me. So the second thing wrong with you is that you think you're different, and you think because you're different, you can't connect. But here's the thing. Our greatest fear is to be different, because when we're born, we need to find connection, avoid rejection. If our greatest fear is to be different, and if you feel different, then you've got the greatest fear, so you must be like everyone else, or you wouldn't have the same fear we all have. Our fear is that I'm different, you might reject me, and since I was a newborn baby, I've been hardwired to find connection, avoid rejection. So are you number 1? I'm just not enough. Are you number 2? I'm different. So I can't, oh, you're number 3. And number 3, the only other thing wrong with you is this. I want something so much. I already know it's not available. I want love, but I don't have a dad. I want a great business, but I didn't even go to college. I want to be happy, but I've got the depressed gene. I want to be slim, but I've got the fat gene. So let me have a quick look and see who's putting in 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go right to the bottom and then go back up again. It's really interesting when you know, oh, that's it. That's it. I said, that's it. I've had classes with you, I've been in therapy for 20 years. And with you in 10 minutes, I got it. I realized straight away, of course, I don't think I'm enough. Or I realized straight away, yeah, I've been pursuing something so hard while believing I'll never get it. How exhausting is that? You can be all 3. It's fine. You can be 2, 1, 3. You can a little of each. It's perfectly okay. And everything else you have, here's an umbrella. The umbrella is the umbrella that says, I'm not enough, I'm different, so I can't connect. What I want isn't available. Everything else is underneath it. Every addiction, every fear, everything, not having love, not having success, all come from the same thing. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to just pick a few of these and read them back so you can see that we're all the same. Actually, every time I think I'm going to read one, there more are coming in, so it's disappearing off the screen. Hold on, let me do it this way instead. I get it, but how do I fix it? Well, stay with me. We're doing some hypnosis. Sit now. It's not true that therapy takes years and months and weeks. You can change like that. How do you change? How quickly can you change? Can you change in 21 days? You can change in 21 minutes. You can actually change in 21 seconds. How do you do that? Change the pictures, you change the words. If you've ever had food poisoning, and I had the opposite of that. I went into anaphylactic shock when I was in New York, having eaten some lobster. And now I just can never eat. I look at it and think, oh no, that nearly killed me. My mouth swelled up like a puffer fish. My throat swelled up. My poor husband was just terrified. It was much harder for him than me because I just passed out, but he had to deal with that. But when that was happening, the only thing I had was I kept saying to my mind, stop making histamine, stop it, stop it, stop it. This is just food. And I remember passing. I also remember coming back. And as I came back, I thought, oh, it's okay that the lips are going down. The croaky voice, my voice, I knew I was going to be okay because I could feel it all wearing off. Thank goodness I had that ability to talk to my mind, which we all have. You're just as good at it as I am. You just didn't know it. But I can't eat lobster now, indeed any shellfish, because I remember that feeling of my throat and thinking, oh my God, I could have 4 minutes to live here but I thought, okay, the only thing I've got is my mind to stop. So how do you fix it? I'm going to show you how to fix everything. So let's have a look at some of the things you're saying. I was the daughter of the school principal and was always bullied by my peers because I'm the daughter of the principal. True. I hated being different. I hated being an A student. That's so interesting. I was the daughter. Oh, that's the one I've just read. Let's have another one. So many fascinating ones. I'm number 1, which leads to number 2. I'm the daughter of a head teacher too. Someone else said I'm the daughter of a doctor, the daughter of a police officer. And there's so many interesting things that you're sharing. Can you be all 3? Yes, of course you can. You can be all 3. Someone said, I had a depressed mother, and so I thought I had the depressed gene. I had an angry mother, I had the angry gene. Had an alcoholic father, I thought that was genetic. Okay, let me just pick out just one more. Sorry, I'm not sure what those numbers are. What are we making 1, 2, 3? Number 1 is I'm not enough. That's number 1. There's many ways not feeling enough. Every addiction, I worked with hundreds of thousands of addicts. I've never met one ever in my entire career of 30 plus years who felt they're enough. So the number 1 thing wrong with us is that we just don't think we're enough, good enough, smart enough, worthy enough, interesting enough. That's the number 1 thing wrong with us. We don't believe we're enough. The second thing wrong with us is that we think we're different. And because we feel different, I'm the tallest, I'm the shortest. I was watching the Netflix documentary with David Beckham, and his wife has often said, my dad took me to school in a Rolls Royce, and it was so embarrassing. I hated it because no one else had a dad with a Rolls Royce. And I'd say, please drop me at the corner. I was sent to school with sushi, and I wanted to die of embarrassment because no one else had sushi. I wanted a packet of crisps and a sandwich like the other kids. When you feel different, it's hard to connect, because we connect by being that I'm like you, you're like me. I like pasta, you like pasta. I like this, you like this. I like this show, so do I. I like ice cream, so do I. If you like vanilla, so do I. Oh, we're so alike. If you say, I hate everything you like, then it's hard to connect. So when you believe you're different, so number 2 is I feel different and I find it hard to connect. Number 3 is I want something that could be love, wealth, health, joy, just being happy, but I already know it's not available. These are the 3 things wrong. I've never felt good enough, worthy enough, clever enough. And so it's important to work out which one is you right now. Someone said, now imagine all of this in an autistic mind. And I can work with many, many autistic children. That's their big thing. I'm different. I've even got to have this different diet. And very hard. I work with many autistic kids whose parents go, no gluten, no flour, no sugar. That's okay when they're 3, but when they're 14 and want to go out with their friends, then it doesn't work. So I was the only Black female in the military, smart and hated. It's a terrible thing when you're a kid. I was the only girl and my parents wanted a boy. I had physically abusive parents. No one else did. I was told as a baby that people wanted to throw me down the stairs, or maybe that, I think you were, have you. I knew I was different and I was terrified of being rejected by my mother. See, these things are so emotional. I was raised by a narcissist. I felt disconnected from everybody because my family always moved. I was too small, too weak. My mother was so bright, I always felt stupid. My father always told me that number 2 is the first loser, so I'm feeling always like a failure. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. The second person is the first loser, but that's not true. If you got to Wimbledon or any tennis championships and you came second, being second is great, but people say, no, it's just a second loser. Okay, so we've got a lot of very interesting things. Someone here said my father was in prison and I felt horrible going to see him, and I felt definitely so different. Everyone had a great family, but me, everyone had a great weekend. I never realized I felt so different until now, but it was hard for me to connect or have many friends. I can imagine, Mariana, that must have been really, really tough, incredibly tough. But here's the thing. No matter how awful your childhood, for some of you, it was horrible. I want you to think of your life as a great big clock. If your life was a huge clock, a massive clock, you know what your childhood is? The first 5 minutes. You got 55 minutes to say, that isn't me anymore. We're going to do that. And I want you to imagine something else. I want you to imagine this is a bow and this is an arrow. I'm going to have to get a real bow and arrow. I'm going to get one of those, Skip, on Amazon so I can do it. But if this was the bow and this is the arrow, and you fire that arrow, where does the arrow go? It goes forwards. Does the bow come with it? No, nobody cares. Where's the bow? It doesn't matter. I'm only going after the arrow. The arrow's over there. Look how far the arrow has gone. I'm the arrow. So if your childhood was the bow and you're the arrow, only the arrow goes forward. Your childhood doesn't come with you. It stays behind. It's gone. It's in the past. It's all behind you. I'm going to do some hypnosis in just a minute to help you understand. But let's just do one more thing, because I don't want you to have this immense understanding of yourself. I want you to really understand what shaped you, what influenced you, what made you tick. And here's the best thing of all, how to change everything. So let's do one last thing. If you're very lucky and you're born to parents who we love you, you were such a planned kid, you were planned, we wanted you so much, and here you are, and we love you so much. Whatever you do, you want to be a gardener, we'll support you. You want to be whatever you want to be, a hairdresser, plumber, gardener, you want to be an ocean, I don't care. I'm supporting you because I love you and I believe in you. Imagine if we had that, but almost none of us do. Most of us do not have what we really need. And when you haven't got what you need, when you don't feel loved, you can only do one of 4 things. I call it foreplay. the 4 roles we play in order to become. This is the last thing I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to mention the 4 ways we have to behave in order to belong. I want you to see which one is you. So if you don't feel loved, if you're not certain at all that your parents love you, value you unconditionally, the first thing to do is to get sick. For a kid who doesn't feel loved, getting sick is the very next thing to being loved, because you get a lot of attention. People turn up, they worry about you, they get you gluten-free flour, special allergy medicine, they take you to the doctors, they put a little cold flannel on your head, and you think, well, look at that. I don't think they love me, but they must care because my mum's going to the doctors, my dad's getting this pills, they're worried about me. I have many kids who don't feel loved. Being sick is so good at making them feel that they do matter that they never give that up. They become life hypochondriacs. The second way we behave if we don't feel loved is to try to become the brilliant one. I'm brilliant at sport or maths or science. I get really high grades, and my parents say, wow, my son, he's the grade A, my daughter, the grade A student. Or I'm really good at sport and I get a lot of fans cheering for me. So the next thing after being sick is to be the brilliant one at something. And once we learn that, we never give that up either. We're always pushing to be the best, very competitive, whether that's as a business person or a sport or in anything at all. The third way is what I did to become the carer, to look out and think, well, life isn't very fair. Look at that. All these people have got love. I haven't got it. I don't get love and praise. I know. I'm going to give what I most haven't got. I'm going to give love and care. And these will become doctors, nurses, carers, therapists, you name it. They go into the caring profession because they have no balance. They must give what they lack. And I think 90% of nurses do that. And the fourth way is to be the difficult one, the little kid that makes a noise and bangs on the high chair and runs the whole family. And they're still doing that 40 years later. So let's have a look. Just quickly put in the group whether you are the sick one, the brilliant one, the caring one, or the rebellious one who tries to take the power away from everyone. And I'm very quickly going to have a look at the answers. And I promise you in a few minutes, we're going to start our amazing, amazing hypnosis. Okay, I was the good one. I had migraines as a kid. This is so interesting. I was the sick one. I was the carer. My parents always support me with anything. It makes me happy. They also always wanted me out of the room so they could smoke weed, and worked hard and complained about how expensive I was. So again, sick one, headache, good one. I was a rebellious one. I was the academic one. I was the achiever, then the rebel, and the carer, because you can certainly change roles. And by the way, you can have 2 or 3, and occasionally it's exhausting. You can have all 4. Second one, I'm the gifted high achiever. And I ended up ill because it was just too much. And then I became a therapist. I had elements of all of those. I'm the carer, I'm the carer, I'm the carer. I'm the sick one, I'm the rebellious one, the carer for sure. Most people on here will be the carer because we get attracted to this kind of work. Okay, amazing. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do some hypnosis. I'm going to do something powerful. I'm going to take you back to how and where, and I'm going to go back to 3 events: why you don't think you're enough, why you felt you were different so you couldn't connect, and why you felt the thing that you wanted so much was not available. And then I'm going to fix that. You know, it's great to go back and go, well, look at that. That's amazing. But the greatest bit was we should just say, well, that's not me anymore. So I'm just going to quickly get to the end of these caring, sick, so many carers and brilliant. And not only does it help people say, you know, my bloody sister, I always resented her, but now I realize, of course, I was the sick one. And she had no choice but to be the brilliant one or the difficult one. Or I was the brilliant one and my brother was the sick one because he couldn't get any attention. I got all the attention. Or some people say, you know, my mum was the sick one, my dad was the brilliant one. And so I looked after everyone in the house. I became the carer, but you also have some sympathy for other people in your family. You go, yeah, my sister, she was always sick, but now I see why my brother was so competitive. I see why my other sister, she was the difficult one. And I can see exactly what was going on there. So This is amazing. My dad was sick. My mum and I trod on eggshells. I guess I was a brilliant one, not just the care and the parents. We're a family of high achievers. My brother was a brilliant one in sports until an injury. And then he became the rebel. I guess he was really resentful of that. I was the carer, but it made me so ill, and now I'm the sick one. I've also been the rebel and the achiever. See, this level of understanding about ourselves is something that's so incredible. You're so lucky. We're so lucky just to be here saying, wow, you know what? I can understand myself. That puts you way above most people who go, what's wrong with me? I'm just nuts. But you can say, no, I know what made me tick. I understand that. Just a very quick question from Alexandra. While in hypnosis, if you have a saying, should we say it in English or into our native language? I think in your native language is better, unless you want to do it in English. I always think your native language is better. Okay, so we're going to do some hypnosis. We're going to start right now so we have enough time. And hypnosis is not going to send you to sleep, but it is going to wake you up to your phenomenal, amazing, incredible potential. And all you ever have to do to be hypnotized is this. You're going to look up like that, keep your eyeballs up, keep them up, but close your lids down. We're going to practice this. Nothing's going to happen. This is just a practice. We all know practice makes perfect. So I want you to look up as high as you can like that. Keep your eyeballs up, but close your eyelids down. And if you can do that and you can feel a slight fluttering, then you're going to be a dream subject. Let's do it again. But for real this time. So make yourself totally comfortable. Sit back, support your neck if you can, something like that. Uncross your ankles. Do not sit like that, legs and arms crossed. I want you to be in an open position. If you can sit with your hands up on the arms of your chair. Let me see if I can show you how I'm doing. You can sit like that, even better. But if you can't, it doesn't matter at all. Just make yourself comfortable. Bones off, everything off, and let's go. All you're going to do is to look up as high as you can when I tell you. So in a comfortable position with your legs and feet uncrossed. Imagine you're trying to look into your very own eyebrows. Roll up just your eyes, keep your chin where it is. Look up as high as you can. Keep your eyeballs up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Every time you blink, deep, powerful hypnosis is coming upon you. And again, breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. One more time. Still keeping your eyeballs up. Breathe in. The more you blink, the deeper and faster you are going into powerful, profound, healing hypnosis. Keeping your eyeballs up. Just close your eyelids right down. That's the trick. Keep your eyeballs up, but close the eyelids down. Drop your chin. And I want you to simply imagine you're looking down 10 steps. And as I count backwards, you're going to see your feet. You're going to feel your feet. You're actually going to hear your feet taking each step. You are looking down 10 steps. You're moving on to step 10 right now. As each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 9 and 8, and you can see your feet, hear your feet, feel your feet treading each step as you move down. Drift down, travel down to an even deeper level. You're taking steps 7 and 6, going deeper. With every number I count, you're taking step 5 and 4 as you gently, calmly, easily move on over to an even deeper level. You're taking step 3. You're taking step 2. You're taking step 1 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. Just go deeper, 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 even deeper into your own internal state. Go deeper, deeper, deeper every time I click my fingers and say the words go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. You're going deeper into an awareness of yourself. And of course, the question here is not, hey, am I hypnotized? I'm not asleep. I can hear people talking. This is a different question. Can I accept a suggestion? So here's a suggestion. I want to show you that you are powerfully suggestible, that you have a great gift of accepting a suggestion and making it real, that you are gifted at accepting words and making them real. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to imagine you're putting all your attention onto your fingertips. And as you focus on your fingertips, you can feel a tingling sensation in your fingers. And as you focus on that tingling, it's increasing all by itself. And you can just notice that happening. Put all your attention on your fingertips until you feel this feeling of pins and needles in your fingertips. As you focus on the tips of your fingers, you feel this intense tingling. It's increasing. The more you focus on it, the more it's increasing, the more you can notice it happening. You notice that incredible tingling in your fingertips, tingling. And now you're moving that tingling all down to your palms, right down to your wrist. You're moving that tingling all across the back of your hand. You're moving that tingling right into your toes. Across the very tips of your toes, you can feel it tingling. And as you focus on it, it's increasing all by itself. And now you're moving that tingling right down to the ball of your foot, to the arch of the foot, to the sole of your foot. You're noticing something amazing as you think about that tingling, your mind and body have to make it real. As you think it real. So now that we know that you can think a thought and make it real, you can think better thoughts and make them real. First, before we get really good at thinking thoughts and making them real, thinking good thoughts, let's clear away the old stuff. Let's get rid of the old stuff. I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. You are easily, immediately, powerfully going to go back to a scene, place, event, time that is all to do with how, why, where, and when you ever thought you're not enough. So now is the time to begin. There's no time like the present. I want you to imagine that you're putting on a movie of your life. You've put on the movie, you've streamed it, you're pressing play. And here you are today, right now in this room with me. But although you're here right now in the room with me, your mind is starting to go back. That movie is rewinding, going backwards, backwards, backwards. The movie of your entire life is going backwards, traveling back, moving back. And you are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. You're drifting right back right now to a vivid, vital, crucial, powerful scene that is all to do with how, where, why, and absolutely when you ever decided you were not enough. Your brilliant genius mind knows exactly how, where, why, and when you ever believe that you're not enough. It's locating that scene. You are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body as you drift back to a vivid, vital, crucial, powerful scene, all to do with how you learned you were not enough. Just be there. That movie of your life is stopping right now. As the movie of your life stops, you're right in the middle of a scene. It's like you've switched on a television set, the picture's warming up, you're right in the middle of the screen, and you can answer this next question perfectly. This scene where you are in your mind right now, is it daytime or is it nighttime? Are you inside or outside? Are you on your own? Is anybody with you? And here's the most important question. What are you doing, seeing, feeling? What are you experiencing? Stay in that scene. As you stay in that scene, I want you to see what you saw. I want you to hear what you heard. I want you to feel what you felt. Stay in that scene. See what you saw. Feel what you felt. Your ears are opening on the count of 1, 2, 3. You can even hear exactly what you heard. I want you to look at that scene with fascination. Here's something amazing. The word cure comes from the word curious. When you get curious, you also get cured. So get curious. Think, wow. Look at that scene, look at that. Look over and around and through it and think, yeah, that's why I always thought I wasn't good enough. That's why I felt I wasn't enough. That scene and others that are similar, exactly why I grew up thinking I wasn't enough. Stay in that scene, look over it, look around it, look through it with fascination, with curiosity, with insight, with innate understanding what happened to you and how what happened affected you. And now we're going to go back to another scene. You might say, hey, I need longer, but we can do this again. You've got one scene, and that scene is all to do with why you ever thought. It was like you've said to, hey, Google, I'm typing out a question, why do I think I'm not enough? And Google's put up this one scene for you to look over, around, and through, because understanding is power. Understanding is freedom. But now you're going back to another scene, and this scene is to do with why you believe you're different, why you've ever bought into the belief that you're different. And if you're different, of course, it's harder to connect. And our DNA requires connection. The minute we're born on the planet, we are hardwired and coded. Find connection, avoid rejection, find connection. So let's have a look at what got right in the way of you finding connection. This belief that you're not like other people. Again, on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body as you drift right back right now to a vivid, vital, crucial, powerful, significant scene that is all to do with how, where, why, when you got this belief that you're not enough. You are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Just be there. As I click my fingers, the screen is warming up. You're right in the middle of this scene, and you know exactly why it is that you think that you're different, so you can't connect. Stay in that scene, look over it, look around it, look right through it. Look at it with fascination. Remember, get curious and you'll probably get cured. I want you to look over and around that and go, oh yeah, look at that scene. Look at that scene. That's why I feel different. That's why I feel not like other people. That's why I feel it's harder for me to connect, to get things, because of this feeling, this belief that I'm different, which isn't true. When you feel it, it might as well be true. So look at that scene, look over it, look around it, look through it. And then I want you to just put it to one side. We're doing this very quickly because I want to do a little bit of healing, a lot of healing actually. So just look at scene 2. What is it that happened to you? What did you go through, experience, learn, hear, see, feel to make you feel different so you can't connect? And let's go back to the very last one, the one that says, I want something that's not available to me. So one more time on the count of 5, you are pressing rewind on that movie of your entire life one last time. That movie is going backwards, backwards, backwards. You are drifting back, traveling back, moving back. You are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter, going right back, even further back to a vivid, vital, crucial scene that's all to do with this belief. What I want is not available. How, where, why, when did you decide that what you wanted is not available? You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years are peeling away from your body, drifting right back. Just be there. This scene where you are now, is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? On your own, or is anybody with you? What are you doing, seeing, feeling? What are you experiencing? Stay in that scene and tell me. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? Feel what you felt, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and look at it again with curiosity, with fascination, with insight. Oh, wow, look at that. That scene is all to do with why I feel that what I want is not available. I want you to imagine you've got all of those scenes. Scene 1, the not enough scene. Scene 2, the difference I can't connect. Scene 3, it's just not available to me. Other people can have it, but I don't get what I'm not like other people, and what I want isn't available. That's in your hand too. And you're looking at those scenes, and those scenes are giving you phenomenal insight into what's going on with you. And I want you to go back to scene 1. I want you to say out loud with a lot of power in your voice, that's not me anymore because, and I want you to tell me why. So you're going to complete that sentence. I'm going to start the sentence. You're going to repeat it, but you're going to finish it. It's not me because I don't live with my absent father. I don't live with my unhappy mother. I don't live with my grandmother. I'm not that kid that wears secondhand clothes, whatever it is. So let's not think about it. Let's just do it. Go back to scene one. I want you to shout out with passion, with unconditional certainty in your voice. That's not me anymore because. So let's do it on the count of 1, 2, 3. Let's go. That's not me anymore because. I want you to finish that sentence. Tell me at the screen, why is that not you? How do you know that's not you? Justify to me why that is not you anymore and will never be you ever again. Tell me why that isn't you, how that can't be you. And now let's go to scene 2. We're doing this very quickly, but you can do this again and again. Long after this session ends, you can do it again. I want you to go to scene 2 and say, that's not me. That kid who felt different and couldn't connect is not me, can't be me because. And tell yourself, shout it out loud as you can with excitement, why that is not you anymore. And finally, let's go to step 3. And I want you again to say, that kid who believed what they wanted was not available is not me and will never be me ever again for the rest of my long, gorgeous life because, repeat after me, that kid who believed it wasn't available to them is not me, will never be me ever again for the rest of my long, gorgeous life because. Tell me why that's not you. Tell me why it isn't you. Why that can't be you. And let's do one more thing. I want you to imagine going back as you rewound that movie of your life. Just go back to the childhood home you lived in. I want you to go up to the bedroom door where you slept, put your hand on the door handle, open that door, go into the room. And I want you to find the young version of you. That young version of you knows that you are them all grown up. And you know that this is you as a child. I want you to pick that child up. I want you to transport them back to wherever you live today. And I want you to repeat these very words, word for word. I want you to say out loud to that child, I'm becoming a loving parent to you now, and no one in the whole world can play this role like I can. I want you to imagine walking that child through the front door, wherever you live now, and I want you to say these exact words. I'm upgrading you into my world. And this is a nicer, safer, better place. I'm upgrading you into my world. You're safe with me. I'm here protecting you, loving you, believing in you. I'm installing you into my world, upgrading you in my world. You can never go back to that other world, not even in your daydreams, because you now live in my world, and it's better, nicer, safer in every possible way. And imagine walking that child through your living room and showing them you have Alexa and Sonos and probably an Apple TV and all the things you couldn't possibly have had when you were a kid. It's all available. You have Bluetooth and Apple Mac and an iPhone. Couldn't possibly have them when you were a kid. They haven't even been around that long. You couldn't have had what you had. Show them all the stuff in your closet, all the stuff in your kitchen. Show them your credit cards, your car, your job. As you think, hey, I can't be that kid. They can live in my world, but I can't live in theirs. And finally, for the last minute, you only need a minute, I want you to think of all the things you should have heard. What should have a great mom or dad or teacher said to you? You're smart, you're amazing, I love you, you matter. And I want you to say it now. You're the most amazing kid, you're smart. Just repeat these words after me, word for word. You are an amazing kid, you're smart, you matter, I love you, I'm so glad you're here. You're more than enough. You're smart, you're beautiful. You're loved and connected. Everything you want is available to you. I want you to take the last 30 seconds and just add some of the things you've always wanted to hear. We're waiting to hear. I'm lovable. I matter. I'm significant. I've got something to offer the world. Don't wait. Don't wait anymore. Say it. I matter. I'm lovable. I'm significant. I have something amazing to offer the world. Look at that little kid and say to them out loud, you matter. You're lovable. You're significant. You're enough. And let's end this by having you say out loud with unshakable certainty in your voice, I'm lovable. I matter. I am enough. I'm lovable. I'm enough. I matter. I'm significant. I'm connected. And everything I want is available to me. Take a deep breath and remember that even though we're going to come out of this now, you can close your eyes and go back and connect with that little baby. Connect with that child. Fill yourself up with the missing words. You can do all of it. But right now, when you're ready, just slowly, calmly, easily come back to fullness. Bring that little child with you. They live in your world. You've installed them in your home. You've created a place in your heart, in your body, in your life. For them, they live with you. And you can never go back into the other world. Not even in your days. You can never, ever go back. Not ever. Because that child lives in you and life doesn't go backwards. It only goes forward. So take a deep breath. On the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just open your eyes. Just come back into the room. And Peter just said the last part of connecting with me brought tears running down my cheeks. And I didn't believe that could happen. And I thank you so much, Marisa. I'll see you in RTT. I'd love to train you, Peter. You sound amazing. So any of you want to share what you went back to, how it felt when you upgraded that child into your world? Because you don't live in the past, you live in the present, and you can make it amazing. It's never too late to have an amazing, it's never too late to upgrade yourself, never too late to think, oh, the missing words. Well, I can fill myself up with those. No one else can do it. I can do it. So some beautiful, beautiful feedback. And it's okay to cry. I'm a great believer that where tears go, energy goes and healing begins. And even if your scenes weren't clear, this only works. It always works. It works. It works powerfully. It works permanently. It works all pervasively. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's beautiful feedback. I know we're going to spend the last few minutes doing a little bit of Q&A. Someone said, oh my God, that broke me, but was so painful. But you see, if you're broken, you want to think of yourself like one of those beautiful Kinsey vases put back together again. You might say, I've got a broken heart, but I work out and I break my muscles down. I do 10x. And when I break them down, they grow back bigger. And it's the same thing if you have a broken heart, you just get a bigger, better heart, because whatever is broken will fix itself and it comes back bigger and better than ever. So Skip, I'd love you to join us now.
Yeah.
And I had so many tears, someone said, and I believe in myself. Now that I know what was making me feel like that, I feel better. I'm upgrading myself, upgrading my thinking, upgrading the child, upgrading my life. I'm proud of you all for doing this. You know why? Because it works. I'm proud of you all for taking. You can upgrade your life. You can upgrade your thoughts, your beliefs. You can upgrade anything. The childhood is just the first 5 minutes of a massive clock. And you've got all that time left to have an amazing life. It's never too late to make it amazing, to make it phenomenal, because you're amazing and you're phenomenal. Over to you, Skip. Let's do some questions.
Hey, everybody. That is so beautiful reading all of your comments. Let's just let those comments keep rolling in, keep sharing your experiences, and know that while we only have 5 minutes left of today's mainstream, and then we'll go over to the VIP room, make sure to really spend some time, be gentle with yourself after this. For a lot of you, this may have been your first live guided hypnosis experience. And also know that if you didn't go as deep and you're not crying like some of these people, that it's okay and that there is no wrong here.
Sure. And a few people said, I feel sick, or I feel like I want to pee. When the mind lets go, the body lets go. When the mind lets go, tears flow, because you're having a huge, you might think, oh God, I've never been to the bathroom so much, or I got a bit of a runny nose. It's all a sign of letting go. If your mind's let and your body is letting go, and you feel a bit nauseous, a bit sick, or so tired you're going to sleep for the next 3 hours. These are all good signs that the mind and the body are aligned in a massive letting go.
And just remember that this is the beginning of our 8-week journey all together, where Marisa is, and just imagine that this is a very gentle introduction into the powerful transformation you're going to experience along this 8-week journey. And so, yeah, just be really gentle with yourself after this. Maybe take some time to reflect on what your experience was like and how you want to move forward, but give yourself a solid half hour after this to just be really gentle. Maybe listen to some pleasant music and let yourself slowly come back to life after this if you can. And yeah, it's just so many beautiful, beautiful recordings here. For those of you that are in VIP, you'll see an email just went out a few minutes ago that has that link, so that we can jump into that in a few minutes. This recording will be made available. Number one, this is the only one that was streamed on YouTube. So on the Marisa Peer channel, if you go there and you click on content and you go to live streams, you'll see that this will be there. The rest of these will not be streamed, but this one will be, so you can find it there. Otherwise, you'll be finding it in the emails that are coming out throughout the program. So we'll keep updating you on new things that are coming in. Yeah, isn't this so wonderful, Marisa, to read all?
I'm just reading Laurie. I love Laurie. Laurie said, I was taken aback to remember my mum gave me half the allowance she gave my brother. I said, why? She said, he's a boy, you're a girl. I'm still so angry at her for this programming. She's going to be, but today I make 10 times what my brother makes. So maybe it was an inadvertent motivator. Yeah, sometimes the worst childhood motivates you to say, I'll show you. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, beautiful. So many beautiful scenes that people are describing here where they're just already overcoming so much of themselves and really having that deep experience. And again, for those of you that aren't having that, don't worry. We've got 8 weeks
We'll
to
have
do
it.
this.
We've got 8 weeks. Sometimes we had to go through this quite quickly today because we spent so long of today explaining, but in the next 7 weeks, we're going to do a lot longer of the therapy. We'll do less of the talking and a lot more therapy. So we're going to do it over and over again, different each time, but it will work.
Yeah. And the first time that I ever did this, some of you may have heard the story. I was giggling throughout the whole thing and couldn't really get into the depth of the experience. And the wild part was it still had a massive impact on me, even though I was completely not having the experience that I have now in this. And then fast forward years later, where Marisa did a session on me just a couple of weeks ago, that's going to be out to the public soon. And I literally experienced myself going into the body of my 10-year-old self. Like in the moment it was literally like I was teleported into that body and into that time. So just know that each week it'll get a little bit deeper. And if you want to do some additional practice, of course, go through the course materials, but go do some of the hypnosis sessions on Marisa's YouTube. And just know that every time you do it and every time you want to go deeper and want to experience more of it, you will. And you'll always go a little bit deeper and experience a little bit more of it.
Yeah, and it was rather quick, but it doesn't matter because you can shut the video off now and just go back with that and just feel that child and say all those things. You matter, you're significant. It's really easy. It's I love you, you're enough, you're significant, you're lovable, you matter. Then it's I'm enough, I'm lovable, I'm significant, you can add anything you like. I'm awesome, I'm incredible, I'm beautiful, I'm smart. So at any time you can just close your eyes and tell that little kid how amazing they are, and then reframe it and tell yourself how amazing you are. It was a lesson in how to do this. Although I'm doing it with you and for you, you can actually do this yourself too. It's not rocket science. It's just coding and wiring in the missing bit that you should have heard but didn't hear. And no one else can do the job you can of giving yourself those words. It's great to say, hey, I'm going to find someone to love me. But actually, the person who has to do this is you. And it's not even work. It's just rewiring, recoding. If your parents and your teachers had a degree in making you feel good enough, what would they have said? Well, we all know they just said, I love you, you're amazing, you're the joy of my life, you're so smart, you're so gorgeous, how lucky am I to be around you? That's it. That's not even work. Say it, state it, embody it. And very quickly it stops doing what you do and it becomes who you are. and then you're winning. So say it, affirm it, state it, embody it, do it a lot, and then it will quickly be who you are rather than what you do.
Yeah. So grateful for all the time today, Marisa. I'll make sure the team puts the link in the chat. If anyone didn't know that there was a VIP, if anyone wants to join, the link is in the chat and you can join us over in the other room. If you want to do VIP, it's a smaller community, smaller group of people, and we'll do some more Q&A and some more explanations. Other than that, I'm really excited for next week, everybody. Next week's going to be even more amazing than this week. And each week thereafter will be even more incredible as you get more context and deeper into the experience. Thank you so much for Marisa for this excellent, excellent hypnosis today and all the explanations leading into it. It was really a beautiful experience for me too. So thank you so much. And we'll see you all in the VIP.
Yeah, I can't wait. So thank you, everybody. And next week's going to be amazing. And people say, oh, deeper. That doesn't mean the scenes will be more intense. It means you'll get more deep work at knowing how to manage your state and make it a great one. So thanks, everyone. It's been amazing. It's been an honor and a joy to work with you all. Your feedback's warming my heart. It's so lovely to read these messages. It makes me feel so good. So I know you're thanking me, but I'm thanking you right back because you're so lovely. Thank you. See you next time. You are enough. You are lovable. You do matter. Get everything with bells on. You can have it all the time. I'm going to show you how next week. Lots of love. Bye-bye.